How about you let me grab you and find out?
So they follow all the items. Please. Please. Yes! Yes!
Oh, shit! I'm on fire!
What just happened?
Oh, I just killed 3 guys. That actually might be on Sunlight Blade.
It actually might be. Welcome everyone to the Top 10 series. First things first, I'm sorry, I'm late with the August episode, so I'm
combining August and September into a top 20.
I hope that's alright with you. Coming up in the show, we have the longest unsegmented boss fight in the history of the Souls games. A Soul Level 1 character takes a stroll through the dreaded Iron Passage. And an RPG Gank squad of role players takes on a custom player boss in a legendary battle for the ages. And much more. Without further ado, let's start the countdown. Sergeant Fiddle is invading the bridge in the painted world of Ariandel. He strikes the ropes, collapsing the bridge, leading all 3 in a desperate rush to safety. This invader survives the lethal fall by a stroke of luck. The host's backstab overrides the fall damage, meaning he survives with iframes, but the other 2 perish. This is the one time where you actually want to be backstabbed. At 19, we have Schwernbow in Dark Souls 2 dabbling in a high-stakes undercover operation. This invader can see the host hasn't yet reached the Great Hall in Aldia's keep, so he used some silver talismans to transform into a table. When the party eventually arrives, it's a host with a white summon plus Sellsword Luet, the tanky NPC wielding 2 great shields of glory. Things get extremely intense as the entire group comes perilously close. Further ahead, the Ogre ambush provides a great distraction as the invader now sweeps in from behind. The NPC unfortunately not doing enough to alert his companions. One goes down to the invader and the Ogre finishes off the host. This was a great sequence of hide and seek, and Aldia's keep is one of the best locations for it. Omega Ace Studios is invading a host in the Ring City, the final expansion location in Dark Souls 3. The host is throwing duel charms, which remove all buffs when they make contact, taking away Omega's Darkmoon Blade.
Good job, Blueberry. You got the host killed.
Getting your own host killed is just a day in the life of a Darkmoon player, really. But triggering the Ring City archers is such a sad betrayal, especially since the host was managing just fine before the backup arrived. Scorpio Manen is rolling in a 4-player group, taking the Ring City wall elevator on the way to Midir. Initially, he's the first one to make the shortcut, jumping into the hallway as the lift passes by. He tried to troll his team by crouching in the doorway, a harmless prank, except he should really know not to play around Dark Souls elevators. How many times must we learn this lesson? He's well and truly stuck, pushed out of the map, and forced the Black Crystal out. But I have to share that a completely separate submission from M-Child shows him mistiming the jump and getting trapped in the exact same spot. Once there, he gets summoned to a host world as a blue spirit. He happened to be in the Blue Sentinel's Covenant at the time, and he spawns in still outside space and time, clips through the world, and falls into the room with the lightning arrow miracle. Imagine if the host was in there and saw that happening. Cage is invading in the Grand Archives of Dark Souls 3 just in time to meet the host encountering the Black Hand trio of NPC enemies. One of the NPCs, Lion Knight Albert, manages to get on the lift with him as it descends. This has just turned into Mission Impossible 7. The host was prepared at the bottom for him, but not the daredevil Lion Knight as well. This is where Cage makes an insane big brain play. While the host is distracted, he runs back and takes away the elevator. Then rejoins the fight, making good use of his offhand crossbow. This was a genius play. You really stand out as a strategist. Ramping up the crossbow pressure, forcing the host to escape was such a smart choice in this case. At number 15, we have one of those invasions that turns out to be more meaningful than you initially expect. Mr. Mushroom is gravelording in Sen's Fortress, cursing other players' worlds as a Gravelord servant until they find his sign and invade him. He censored the player's name for reasons that might become clear later, so let's just randomly generate one for now, shall we? Wilfred. Now Wilfred is inexperienced. You can tell because of his hesitant playstyle, the inefficient armor combination, and I guess the fact that he keeps dying instantly. But you know what he says? He says, "I will have my vengeance." And if that determined spirit and willpower to keep coming back to the Gravelord sign and fighting doesn't impress you, then I don't know what will. Slowly, Wilfred makes progress. He realizes how crucial it is to protect yourself from backstabs, something we all had to learn. Every Dark Souls player can relate to, I'm sure. One of their fights actually ends up being extremely close. One more hit and he might have had it. Wilfred reveals he has no other weapons other than the Black Knight halberd he's been using. Eventually, Mr. Mushroom is impressed at his perseverance. He suggests that Wilfred should try fast rolling instead of his current slow mid-roll speed, something that should help his positioning and reduce the amount of backstabs he's receiving. Well, the Black Knight halberd is heavy, so Wilfred removes the helmet and armor so he can fast roll. He even uses power within. His spacing is now a lot better. Wilfred is more confident and aggressive. Whoever Wilfred actually is, he's a Dark Souls legend. After many deaths, he couldn't wait to get the victory, and it was so wholesome to see. It's just kinda nice to see players like this interacting in 2021. The main is doing some casual invasions in the prime PvP hotspot of Ulasil Township. He's in a voice chat with friends when he invades a host, bringing great shame to his family and ancestors. This cheater has modded infinite health and stamina with a gold tracer.
Oh, the cheater is here. Coming to get me.
And if that wasn't enough, he's got speed hacks on as well.
He's coming to get me, Blue. He's coming to get me. He's mad.
I don't do people still care about that?
In the past, we've seen hackers brought to justice through fall damage or other methods.
Dude, I parried his speed hacks twice, just so you know. It's very funny.
Can you still repost when they speed hack?
And
like
he DC'd. He DC'd on me.
Amazing.
It's not like he could have died, he was invincible, but I guess he just couldn't take the embarrassment anymore. Hopefully he learned his lesson.
Amazing.
Gerardo is a first-time submitter doing his normal PvP practice in the Pontiff area. He admitted his email he's not good at the game, but in this clip, he's absolutely peaking. That's the first time he's ever pulled that move off. So that's the end of the clip. Not to rain on your parade, but I must say the opponents were a little bit questionable, but Gerardo absolutely popped off here. It's a great feeling when you get in that flow state, and every move you make is just perfect. Clognog invades a very cheeky host in the undead settlement, who's disguising himself with a hidden body spell. Clognog is using a faith build, pinging the host with a lightning arrow, but then continuing on back through the level to take care of some errands. This is the beginning area, where the undead dogs ravage the wandering hollows, and these are their corpses he starts pushing into a pile. With that done, he returns. This time to properly engage before leading the host there. The reason why this clip is so remarkable, aside from the fact that Dead Again is really awesome, the reason is no invader would ever think to use this miracle. Dead Again requires dead bodies to explode, and invaders cannot interact with the corpses of mobs unless the host has used a seed. However, these hollows are the exception. Pun Pun is practicing the split leaf infinite combo in the Crucifixion Woods. The real funny part about this clip is while he was practicing, another player comes in who also knows of these forbidden techniques. The player ruins his combo, misses him by inches, Pun Pun shows him how it should be done with the last of his stamina. Meanwhile, I couldn't help but notice there's some sus movement in the background. Player going way too fast, but anyway, that's where the clip ends, so we'll just move on. Zelda likes to be known for his Soul Level 1 challenges within the Souls games. He's done a ton of experiments with the famous Ornstein and Smo fight in Dark Souls 1, and now his exploration has brought him to this. A Soul Level 1 New Game Plus 6 attempt with no rolling, no blocking, no rings, no buffs, and no pyromancy or anything you could use to cheese the fight. This is straight up skill and practice put on display. Ornstein is killed first, which of course leaves Mega Smo as the second stage, an easier and quicker fight than if you did it the other way around. Measured from the first frame the health bars show up to the final frame of Smo's empty health bar, this feat was accomplished in 2 minutes and 16 seconds without even getting touched. Harsaru brings us back to Ulasil Township in Dark Souls 1. The madman is fighting 3 summons and a host. Although you would be forgiven for missing that poor Sumbro who rolled past him off the map 3 seconds into the fight. If you're new to what top level Souls PvP looks like, this will give you an idea. Hasaru said in the email that in a gank situation it's best to not take the riposte, but use the surprise against the nearby opponents by backstabbing them instead. To be fair, it must be quite surprising, because that poor summon just rolled off the stairs as well. Hasaru confirmed to be so good that the opponents would rather roll off the map for a quick death. Coltrane sent in an amazing Dark Souls 2 clip here in the Dragon Shrine. In the Scholar of the First Sin edition, the Dragon Knights all over this area are not hostile unless you have a white summon. That's why the host has picked a team of golden sun bros. It makes this area a whole lot easier to get through. Coltrane dodges, and the arrow fires directly into the Dragon Knight behind him, the absolute worst case scenario. That severe and continuous lapse in judgment ends in complete destruction. I haven't seen a team stacked like that wiped out so brutally in a while. That was a catastrophic misplay from the host. Super Parkourio, name not foreshadowing what's happening or anything like that. He invades the world of a trespassing host in the Pontiff Cathedral area, and this ain't his first rodeo, since he knows to go straight to the illusory wall ladder, where, surprise surprise, there's a host camping one of the easiest spots to defend in the game. We've seen a few different methods to dislodge such players in the past, notably with suicide bombing Crucifix of the Mad King style, but Super Parkourio has a much more magical solution. He equips one Morian blade in each hand with the red tearstone ring while at the low health requirement for the massive damage boost, casts Homing Crystal Soul Mass, and relies on the fact that the host has nowhere to go. Zeropon is giving us some intriguing Dark Souls 2 content here. This is the Iron Passage, done on Soul Level 1 without consuming stamina or using alluring skulls. The Iron Passage is a hellish 3-stage challenge room sequence, and he's taking the long primary path and not the shortcut because it would be impossible. This is the tankiest Soul Level 1 character you'll probably ever see, with the King's Crown, Peasant Attire, Agdane's Cuffs, Flower Skirt and 2 Vessel Shields, all giving big stat boosts and a lot of health. And then the Gower's Ring of Protection also absorbs damage taken from behind. A lot of moments are literally coin flips, depending on what attacks the enemies use, which attack first, and so on. The second room was the most difficult, if you were wondering. The third and final room took a long time to figure out. Turns out the trick is to take a long detour around the giant, and strangely this can make the archer de-aggro just long enough to get by. Absolutely incredible feat. I really love challenges like this because they're creative in a different way. They're visually entertaining as well as showcases of skill. At number 5, we have this lime-coloured host fighting an Ulasil, and things go terribly wrong. During that backstab, he has somehow clipped into the side railings and is well and truly stuck. Must be the invader's lucky day. Surely there's no way the situation can become any more hilarious. That roller coaster deserves an award. It appeared the host was the unlucky one, when in fact it turns out he was Harry Houdini all along. I really do appreciate an unexpected twist ending. Quivon is deep into the chaos found in the Pontiff Cathedral, chasing down a host with another invader with nothing but a crossbow and some exploding bolts.
He's not going to guess all the way up there. Right there. Oh! Oh! Touchdown, baby!
That really is an incredible shot. Free aimed with a crossbow, no less. I think in this case the shirtless theatrics are fully justified. I would be very hyped as well. I'm really going to expose my sense of humour at number 3. Amber has invaded into the Crucifixion Woods. She's sound asleep while the host attempts to hit her with soul arrows that fizzle just pixels away. They have to free aim since she's out of range. Tell me that isn't the best comedic timing you've ever seen. It's so freaking cute. You can tell those timid players up there weren't too sure how to proceed against this snoozing invader. The poor host then slips on a route to his death in the background, and then the summon despawns a second before making contact. It's one of those clips that's perfect to me. It's such a great little story, I just like it.
RPG Gank versus the Fire State Soul, mini boss back 36. We got 2 healers, a ranger, a DPS, and a tank. And let's go! Buff 1, buff number 2, buff number 3, buff number 4, and 5. Tank take the lead.
Nice.
Let's go!
Alright guys, let's do this.
It's been a long time since we dived into the underground world of player-made boss fights. One of the most popular topics featured in the past would be these hackers who use their power creatively, constructing unofficial boss fights within the game for other players to attempt.
Get behind her, get behind her! Oh, I'm out of FP!
Noise!
One of my arrows gonna just knock him.
Nice damage.
Doing good, doing good.
Banana for Scale sent in the clips against a mini-boss created by X36, but he's part of a team consisting of 2 healers, 1 tank, 1 ranger and a DPS. So they're role-playing in an RPG format, each one of them limited to their specific roles.
Yes.
I'm gonna try to give you guys some regen once he does that.
Oh, nice.
Regen,
The animation, good shit. Regen going out. Cover him. Okay,
nice,
covered.
Nice,
Go.
nice.
The raid mini-boss in question is called Fire Sage Soul. Designed for a party of 2 to 5 players, this fiery underground Ring City location is normally home to the Demon from Below boss fight, so this blazing, fire-bending player boss is a natural fit for the area.
Ranger.
We have 2 perspectives from the healer and DPS points of view. When you have such a delicate balance of roles, good communication is key. It's really interesting to see these kinds of callouts in a Souls game.
I'm fully buffed. I'm taunting now. I'm taunting now.
Let's go.
I taunted now. I taunted.
I actually do need a hitting bliss.
I think it's too far away.
Huge shout out to the boss itself, of course. It's just so epic, with 3 distinct phases of increasing challenge, each one written in fire above the character. So much attention to detail. Congratulations to this RPG group for taking on the boss with these awesome role restrictions, and of course to the boss creator for making such a cool piece of content.
Yeah, do you know why?
Why?
Each time Fire Sage does the ultimate, he increases his damage as well.
Hey!
Yes.
You did it. Yeah, great
Get
job,
the hell out of
guys.
here, you
Nice.
little hoe.
Hey,
God
what
damn
no.
it, bro.
Ladies and gentlemen, number 1 features a ridiculous world record in Dark Souls 3. Joet 2 is attempting to defeat Dark Eater Midir with the lowest possible damage output achievable at New Game Plus 7.
Like I have like a couple of cans of my energy drinks. It's currently almost 5:30, so I'll be playing throughout the entire night, if I don't die.
Dark Eater Midir is arguably the hardest boss in the game. It's certainly one of the longest, and if you remember, the last time we saw a challenge even remotely similar to this was in the top 10 boss kills of 2017, where G-Soul beat Midir with his bare fists. That challenge took 1 hour 25 minutes. Now believe me when I tell you, that doesn't even compare to what you're about to see. So Joet's using the Cleric. The Cleric has the lowest base strength and dexterity combined, so he'll be using the Refined Infusion for this challenge. 16 attack rating, failed stats, broken weapon, base attack power. This build is so weak, it's about 10 to 15 times worse than using your fists at Soul Level 1. About halfway through, 6 hours into the fight, Joet finally sees the second stage transition. This is where he was getting tired early in the morning, so he turns up the volume to help him concentrate. This absolute madman decides to not take any riposte opportunity either throughout this challenge. He's determined to get the kill with only his 2 damage hits at a time. The most intense and scariest section of the fight happens about 10 hours in. He simply almost dies, there's no other way to put it.
Jesus. I'm tired, man. Honestly, pop an Estus, it's not worth. No, I won't. Just for the sake of it, I won't.
10 hours in, they're pleading with him to use Estus. Up until this point, he has used none. However, the tiredness here has led him into such a dangerous situation, he realizes he has to use Estus, otherwise he'll die and all his investment will have been for nothing.
Oh my god. The butt clench. Don't. Did anybody just see that?
But I am honored to reveal, from start to finish, defeating Midir and completing this grueling trial took 12 hours and 40 minutes. Furthermore, this is actually a record for the longest unsegmented fight in the entirety of Soulspawn. So today, we have witnessed history in the making.
Oh my god, I wanted to kill him with a jumping attack. Oh well, whatever. It was that last hit. Oh, it's over! Oh, it's finally over.
Send your clips in to top10souls@gmail.com and I'll check them all out. Thanks everyone, see you next time.